The Philadelphia Eagles were putting up exactly the kind of fierce late-game resistance that separates contenders from champions. With just under 3 minutes remaining in regulation, it seemed the Birds had weathered the storm in Denver. The defense, as it had so often suffered during their undefeated start to the season, responded at the most critical moment. On third down, with 2 minutes and 27 seconds remaining, safety Andrew Mukuba flew downhill, grabbed Broncos running back R.J. Harvey, and tackled him a yard short. The defense sent an electric shock down the Eagles' sideline. Coaches cheered, players beat their chests, and the fans cheering on the other side of Philadelphia felt this was the exclamation point, the play that would preserve their undefeated streak. But then came the sound no fan wanted to hear, the piercing whistle, followed by the referee's hand reaching for his belt. A yellow flag swirled through the air, landing on the field like a dagger in the heart of the moment. The decision? A call for linebacker Zach Bond. Bond, the all-pro centerpiece of the Eagles' defense, has built his confidence on relentless physicality. He's the kind of linebacker who dictates the pace, who makes receivers think twice before crossing the middle, and who quarterbacks always share before the snap. His motor never stops, and his intensity has been a driving force behind Philadelphia's dominant defensive identity since last season's Super Bowl run. But on this play, that same intensity betrayed him. As Harvey fell under Mukuba's tackle, Bond advanced, delivering what appeared to be a final blow. The officials ruled the hit was late and aggressive, calling the call as a bit controversial. Replays showed Harvey wasn't fully handed off until the last second, and Bond appeared to make contact just as the whistle blew. Social media instantly exploded with clips of the hit, with Eagles fans criticizing the call as lenient and game-altering. Even the broadcast commentators couldn't hide their skepticism, openly questioning whether the officials were overreaching in penalizing what appeared to be a football play. But regardless of the debate, the flag arrived on the field. Instead of forcing a punt and giving Jalen Hurts and the offense time to mount a winning drive, the Broncos gained 15 free yards and a new opportunity. Denver exploited the clock with surgical results, stringing together 5 more plays that forced Philadelphia to use its final timeout. The defense, disheartened by the turnover, couldn't get off the field until kicker Will Lutz converted an easy field goal to extend Denver's lead to 4. Suddenly, the math was stacked against the Eagles, down 21-17 with no timeout and less than 2 minutes remaining. Still, Hurts decided to leave quietly. With steely determination, he engineered a desperate drive, connecting with A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith to advance into Denver territory. Each snap carried the weight of the season, each conclusion a lifeline that kept hope alive. The drama reached a boiling point when the Eagles reached striking distance with seconds remaining. Then came the moment that will be recounted all week. With 9 ticks on the clock, Hurts aimed at Dallas Goedert, who appeared to be grabbed and held before the ball could reach him. The fans chanted for a flag, but the judges swallowed their whistles. One play later, Hurts threw one final throw into the end zone, only to see it fall incomplete, just beyond the reach of Brown and Smith. Ball game. Broncos 21, Eagles 17. The undefeated streak was over. As the players walked off the field, the story of the game was already clear. Missed chances piled up, but none were more serious than Bond's mishap. For a player rallied by his discipline and leadership, it was a rare but costly lapse, one that directly altered the outcome. It wasn't just another loss, it was a punch in the gut, a reminder that even the smallest mistakes can tip the scales in the NFL. What makes the situation even more painful is who made the mistake. Bond has been the unwavering backbone of this defense, the emotional leader, the guy who usually keeps others in check, and yet, at a moment when composure was most needed, he went too far. It's a cruel irony of football. The same intensity that fuels greatness can, in the wrong second, become the very thing that revenge is. As if the pain of Zach Bond's costly thunderbolt and the first loss of the season weren't enough, Eagles fans were hit with another gut punch before the game even ended. While Philadelphia was facing Denver on the scoreboard, the coaching staff was dealing with its own emergencies on the sideline. Within minutes, 2 crucial players went down, leaving Nick Sirianni and his coaching staff scrambling for adjustments and the fans holding their breath for updates that, unfortunately, were far from positive. The first blow came in the third quarter, when starting lineman Landon Dickerson was ruled out due to an ankle injury. The news was received quickly and the impact was immediate. Dickerson isn't just another name on the roster. He's a cornerstone of a lineup of experience shared by many of the best in football. He protects Jalen Hurts' blind side, paves the way for Saquon Barkley, and sets a physical tone that has become a defining characteristic of Philadelphia's aggressive identity. Losing him, even for a few series, is a problem. Losing him for an entire game, or even longer, is a nightmare scenario for an offense built around strength in the trenches. A few minutes later, the situation worsened. Tight end Grant Calcaterra was ruled out with an oblique injury. At first glance, it seemed like a minor setback compared to Dickerson, but it's the kind of injury that undermines the team's performance. Calcaterra may not have the star power of Dallas Goedert, but he's a crucial piece of depth. He can line up in multiple formations, helps the blocking scheme, and gives Hurts another reliable target when defenses focus on Brown and Smith. Without him, the Eagles' ability to rotate players and keep defenses guessing is limited. The timing of these injuries couldn't have been worse. Not only were the Eagles fighting for survival in Denver, they also faced a brutal turnaround. A Thursday night football matchup against the New York Giants in just a few days. Short weeks are already a challenge in any season, requiring rapid recovery, limited practice time, and game plans that often need to be simplified. Add to that the possibility of losing a Pro Bowl caliber lineman and a versatile tight end, and suddenly an already important divisional rivalry becomes an even bigger test of depth and resilience. The knock-on effects were immediately apparent. With Dickerson gone, the previous line lost its rhythm. Denver's defensive line, which had been largely controlled in the first half, began to find more opportunities for pressure in the second. Hurts took a few extra hits, while Barkley's running lines closed faster and the Eagles' offense looked less balanced. It's not just about one player's absence. It's about how his absence forces everyone else to adjust. Guards and tackles are shuffled, blocking assignments are more resolved, and the quarterback's confidence in the pocket takes a hit. As for Calcaterra, the loss forced Philadelphia to rely heavily on Goddard. Without a true second tight end to rotate, the offense had to abandon some of its two tight ends, providing flexibility in both the passing and running game. For a team that thrives on keeping defenses off balance with creative formations, this was another subtle but significant drawback. What makes these injuries even more concerning is the timing of the season's overall development. October is the period when contenders initially shine. The Eagles have a series of NFC East matchups ahead, games that determine seeding and playoff momentum. Having Dickerson sidelined, even temporarily, could tip the scales in the trenches, where Philadelphia typically dominates. And with Calcaterra's oblique injury, the team now has to hope no further setbacks hit the tight ends room, because one more injury could completely change the game. And yet, this is the NFL. Each season tests the depth, determination, and adaptability of a given season. The Eagles pride themselves on having one of the most complete rosters in American football. Now, that claim is about to be tested. Who stands out in Dickerson's absence? What do you think played a greater role in the loss to the Denver Broncos? Zach Bond's substitution, which changed the game's narrative, or the injuries to Landon Dickerson and Grant Calcaterra, which could jeopardize their performance in the upcoming matchup against the Giants on Thursday Night Football? Leave your opinion here, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.